Girls, what is the greenest flag you can find in a guy? I was 23 and working at this coffee shop downtown when this guy Marcus started coming in every Tuesday morning. Always ordered the same thing, large black coffee and a blueberry muffin. Never looked at his phone while ordering, always said please and thank you. But what caught my attention wasn't Marcus himself, it was what he did after he got his coffee. Every Tuesday, he'd sit at the corner table for exactly 30 minutes. He'd pull out his beat-up notebook and write in it with this cheap blue pen. Sometimes he'd smile at whatever he was writing. Sometimes he'd scratch things out and start over. After 30 minutes, he'd close the notebook, finish his coffee, and leave. Never stayed longer, never left earlier. Always exactly 30 minutes. This went on for months. I started timing my break to coincide with his visits because I was so curious about what he was writing. Love letters, work stuff, a novel maybe. One Tuesday, he accidentally left the notebook on the table when he rushed out to catch a bus. I was cleaning tables and saw it sitting there, wide open. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. And what I saw made my heart skip a beat. The page was covered with little drawings and notes. Not fancy artwork, just simple stick figures and basic sketches. At the top of the page, it said, Mom's birthday ideas, with a list underneath. Flowers she actually likes. Yellow roses, not red ones. That book about gardens she mentioned in March. Coffee date just us two. No phones allowed. Ask about her painting class. She seemed excited last week. There were sketches of birthday cakes with notes like chocolate frosting, not vanilla. She only pretends to like vanilla, and candles that don't smoke, her allergies. I flipped back a few pages. Same thing. Weekly entries about his mom, his little sister, his elderly neighbor, Mrs. Patterson. Notes about things they mentioned in passing. Reminders about their likes and dislikes. Ideas for small surprises or ways to help. Emma needs new backpack for school. Check if she still likes purple. Mrs. Patterson's cat has been sick. Bring chicken soup Thursday. Mom seemed tired lately. Maybe offer to do her grocery shopping. Page after page of this guy paying attention to the people he cared about. Not just remembering their birthdays, but remembering tiny details about what made them happy. There was an entry about his coworker Jerry who'd been stressed about his divorce. Marcus had written down ideas for cheering him up. Bring extra sandwich for Jerry. He's been skipping lunch, and maybe invite him to basketball game this weekend. When Marcus came rushing back 20 minutes later, looking panicked about his notebook, I handed it to him with a smile. You forgot this, I said casually, like I hadn't just discovered he was possibly the most thoughtful person on the planet. He looked so relieved. Thank you so much. I would have been lost without this thing. That's when I decided to be bold. What do you write in there, if you don't mind me asking? He got a little embarrassed and said, just reminders about people, I guess. I'm terrible at remembering things unless I write them down. My mom always says I have a goldfish brain. That's actually really sweet, I told him. Most people can barely remember their own appointments. The next Tuesday, I wrote my phone number on his coffee cup with a note. In case you want to add coffee dates with baristas to your notebook, Ashley. He texted me that same day. Not some smooth pickup line or anything fancy. Just, would Thursday work for you? I promise I'll remember to put my phone away. We've been together for 3 years now. He still carries that beat-up notebook everywhere. Still writes down little things I mention in passing. Still remembers that I like my eggs scrambled, not fried, and that I hate surprise parties, but love surprise flowers. Last month, I was flipping through his notebook looking for a grocery list when I found his latest entry about me. It said, Ashley mentioned wanting to learn guitar, research beginner classes near our apartment, and she's been working late all week. Surprise her with takeout from that Thai place she loves. At the bottom of the page, he'd written, 3-year anniversary coming up. She said she doesn't need expensive gifts, but maybe plan something that shows I've been paying attention. That's when I knew I was going to marry this man. Not because he's perfect, but because he cares enough about the people in his life to write down what matters to them. In a world where everyone's distracted by their phones, he's the guy who notices when you're tired, remembers your favorite flowers, and writes it all down so he never forgets. The greenest flag isn't grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's finding someone who pays attention to the small things that make you happy and cares enough to remember them.